In Japanese, important information comes last. This is something really different from English. So in English, normally start with subject, verb, object, right? And extra information such as where, when, with whom. But in Japanese, important information comes last. So in this case, extra information like where, when, with whom comes first, object, and verb in Japanese sentence. So please remember, conclusion or important information comes last. And even you never know the sentence is in affirmative meanings or negative meaning until you hear the really end. Because in Japanese, noun and adjective and the verb have a conjugation, and you never know if the conjugation is used in negative form or affirmative form until you hear the really end. It's helpful if you recognize Japanese sentence like a train. So here's the most easiest and simple sentence in Japanese. Aは B です。Normally it's translated as A is B. But how you see this sentence might be a little bit different from how I see this sentence as Japanese. When I see this sentence, I can see the two train car. So one train car, A は and B です is second train car. Can you tell which is more important information in this sentence? Important information comes last in Japanese. So B です is something what the person wants to say. So for example, 私はミカサです。It's translated as I am Mikasa. 私 means I. And Mikasa is person's name. 私はミカサです。So what I want to say is ミカサです。And this can be the one sentence. ミカサです。It can go by itself. Like for example, if I point myself and I say ミカサです。You can guess I'm talking about myself, which means I am Mikasa. Or if I'm pointing somebody else and I say, Mikasa desu, you can guess I want to say she is Mikasa or it is Mikasa, right? It depends on the context or situation. So in Japanese, you can omit whatever the listener knows. And Mikasa desu makes sense to me because Mikasa desu is the most important information. But this is not enough, right? So I add extra information, which means topic. I'm talking about this, and Mikasa desu. So how I add extra information is I needed to prepare the other train car. In Japanese, noun cannot be in the sentence by itself. So noun is like a train car. You always need a connecting part, right? And how it works as connecting part is particle in Japanese, like a wa, or ga, or o, ni. Those particles work as connecting part. So in this case, I want to mention that I'm talking about this. So I use a topic marker, which is wa. It's written as ha, but we read it as wa. So, 私はミカサです。I am Mikasa, but in Japanese, I can see the two train car. The important information is Mikasa です。And 私は as for me, or if I talk about myself, that's how it sounds like in Japanese. 私はミカサです。Noun, adjective, and verb, those last train car can go by itself. If it's not clear enough, then you need to add extra train car together with particle. So I also can say, this is the most important part. The last train is the most important train car with engine. But like other train car is not that important. So it still makes sense if you switch those train car. That's also something very Japanese. Let's say 私はミカサです。I am Mikasa, right? That's how it sounds like in Japanese. And 15歳です。15歳 means 15 years old. And I already introduced my name, and I also want to introduce my age. So in Japanese, you can omit whatever the listener knows. In that case, you already know that I'm talking about myself. So I need not repeat 私は what I'm talking about anymore in the second sentence. So, 私はミカサです。Then you need not say 私は15歳です。But you just can say 私はミカサです。15歳です。That makes sense because listener already know I'm talking about myself from the context. And something interesting is there is a saying in Japan, leave the space between the sentence. Sometimes people say, please leave the space between the sentence. It means there are many things which is inferred. So you have to guess what is inferred. I think that is very Japanese.